this beautiful Friday, May 11th, it's time to top off your cup of coffee here at Stock Traders Talk Radio. Looking forward to wrapping up another fantastic week. Joining me on this morning's program, I have Hoss. Good morning, Hoss.
Hey, what's up, buddy? How you doing on this fantabulous Friday?
Freaky Friday. Loving the weather today. How's the weather out there in Twin Cities?
Surprisingly, it's gorgeous, man. We had rain. Last spring, we had rain pretty much every day. We didn't have a spring, and it was kind of starting out the same way this year. We had a pretty short winter, but we were definitely getting that moisture from the rain. So I'm kind of glad it's settled down for a couple days. Can get out and enjoy some good weather. I mentioned I got to go golfing this week for the first time this year. I love pulling out the old sticks. Unfortunately, I don't get out enough or as much as I used to, which was basically every single day. But, you know, when I do get out, get to enjoy some good weather. I'm one of those good weather golfers now. I'm like an old guy.
I'm switching it up today. I lost the headset. I just opened the window. I got a helicopter flying overhead. We got the birds chirping. It's a beautiful day, so I had to open up that window. But you might hear that chopper in the background there.
Nice, dude.
Also joining us on today's program, we got the man, the myth, the legend of the options, Sifakia.
Aloha, guys. How you doing this morning?
Awesome. Fired up.
Cool.
How about your Arna? How's that looking out of the gate this morning?
It's at $7.10, up 93.72%. Can't wait to see this thing open up and see what that July 21st 250 call is going to be. Sorry, last night I said June. It's actually July, but yeah, that's going to be fun. That should be around $4 or $5. Let's go with the $5. Yeah, it's going to be around $5.
Nice. Oh man, another one we nailed. It's sick call. You guys and you and Haas have just been talking this one up for over a week now. So
wow. Spricker's gap into 710 people.
I saw it trading pre-market as high as like 730.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see how this one comes out of the gates. You can never predict what's going to happen after a positive FDA panel decision when it's gapping this much post-market yesterday and pre-market again today. I would expect a little run out of the gates and a nice little pullback consolidation phase for a couple of weeks, but you just never know. I know. I don't know if you guys were watching when a couple of the other stocks got, drug approvals or for major drugs. I'm not talking about smaller drugs. You get these smaller biopharm companies getting some of these smaller drugs approved with smaller markets. Their stocks, might go up 50% one day and then they just kind of pull back and people forget about them, right? But, we're talking obesity drug. We have over 2/3 of the American population is overweight or obese. The rest of the world, obviously some big issues there too, not as bad as the United States. But if Arena ends up, expanding overseas with this drug. But this is just unreal. We had Human Genome Sciences, that's ticker HDSI. That one, obviously popped for their lupus treatment. Dramatically, multiple bags. And then we've also seen the Dendreon, DNDN, with their, cancer vaccines. And that was just a positive phase 3 result that thing just went ballistic on. I think it jumped from, I don't even remember what, something really small around where Arna's trading to $50, pretty much in a few days. So that's what can happen with these crazy biopharm stocks. Fair valuation measures as far as a company bringing in profits and stuff really doesn't apply in these situations, at least not initially with the hype. So I fully expect that if this obesity drug, Lorcaserin, is approved in the summer here, that this thing we could be looking at a $25 plus stock pretty easy. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but you just never know. I mean, these things just go nuts. They get a life of their own. People are going to be freaking out. Oh my God, this is the first obesity drug approved in 13 years. The market is astronomical. These guys are going to be bringing in so much.
Excuse me.
And the thing will hop to, $30, $40, and then people realize that, oh, that's right, this company still has like millions upon billions of dollars in debt from getting this drug through the trials. This assumes that everyone with obesity or being overweight is going to actually use this drug. Maybe these guys won't bring in as much money as we were originally thinking. So that it'll kind of settle and dwindle down a little bit. But, it's very predictable. So if you know how to play the game, you can make some damn good money. We know how to play the game at $2. If you didn't make money on this play after listening to our radio show, shame on you. You're not dumb, you're just ignorant. That was a joke. That was a bad joke, maybe. No, it's it's good to watch these just to see how the game works. I used to almost play strictly these biopharmaceutical run-up plays. Just a couple months out, grab a few shares, play the run-up, lock in free shares before the FDA decision. But that's not always a winning strategy because sometimes the FDA comes out with a decision early. Sometimes they come out with a decision late. And sometimes the stock just doesn't move up like you think it would due to competitors or other news, or the company starts diluting after good news. These biopharmaceutical stocks love to dilute on good news, and I wouldn't be surprised if Arna is diluting the crap out of it right now. But frankly, it doesn't matter. We already got $6 million in volume pre-market at about $7 and over. So, you got $50 million in volume coming to the stock already pre-market. It's just nuts. But it's fun to watch. And even if you didn't make money here, it's still fun to watch. Learn the game. There's always going to be another one coming right around the corner where you can do an FDA run-up. And I fully expect Arena Pharmaceuticals to settle down and consolidate before May is out. And then we can play the run-up with this exact same stock into the FDA drug decision coming in late June.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Good stuff. I love how you come with the details and the tangibles every time. You've been pointing out the fact that it's been 13 years since there's been an FDA approval on an obesity drug. You've been pointing that out since the beginning, and that's a crucial bit of information that people should, recognize and understand because, if time in 13 years, it just says a lot. It's a big thing. So, great DD as always, Haas.
Well, yeah, as you mentioned there, that's just the storyline of the stock. You can have a hot stock, you can have fantastic news, but if there aren't any eyes on it, nothing's going to happen. Obesity, people know what that is, they can relate to it, and
and look at how much of that exists in the U.S. Look at all, I think the U.S. is rampant in it, and if you notice, some of the other countries are starting to follow suit because you got these McDonald's and Pizza Huts and Taco Bells popping up all across the world, and, as people flock to those places and you start to consistently get that in your diet, look what happens.
Oh, you bet, man. Good stuff, though. Arna's been a fun one to watch. And I'm excited to see if this drug gets approved and what the stock does in response to it. It's sort of predictable, but yet it's still completely unpredictable. You never know what the company's going to do. As much handle on the situation as you think you got, you never know.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to trying to maybe get out and play some golf this weekend. You said you had an excellent round earlier this week. You got me all excited. The weather is really nice here today. I'm jonesing for some golf action myself.
Oh, I feel you, man. I went out there. I was planning on stretching before, getting nice and loose, hitting a few range balls. Didn't do any of that. First hole, basically duffed my first tee shot.
Did you use that tip that I gave you at all?
Wait, which tip? I'm sorry, I'm tired this morning. I remember you giving me a good tip.
Swing out of your shoes in your practice shots. Swing extra hard. And then in your approach shot, just try to give it like a 3/4 swing.
Yeah, I used to have some pretty set pre-shot routines, but these days, I'd be surprised if I took a practice swing half the time, man.
It sounds like you don't really need much practice. You shot in the 70s for crying out loud.
Oh,
it was nice to hear. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I used to be a consistently good golfer, but now I'm at a point where if I'm playing well and I'm hitting the ball well, I can be that scratch golfer. But there's also days where I can't do crap, and my driver that I'm usually hitting 320 down the middle every time can be 320 into the trees. So I've shot my fair share of bad rounds the last couple of years too, man.
Nice. It was nice to hear you get out and do some golf. It was also nice to hear Siffy getting out and doing some surfing earlier this week. I haven't really heard too much of him doing any surfing because he's been so darn busy with the radio show. Siffy, I don't know, are you going to try to get out there this weekend and take advantage and do some more of that?
Yep, it's summertime, so the waves are small and inconsistent, so you can't do much about that, but I did get a couple sessions in this week. Nothing spectacular, small, knee-high waves. Had to break out the 11-0 paddleboard just to get into them, but yeah, there's supposed to be a little south swell coming this weekend. Looks like gonna have a good time. Load up the truck with the food and the dogs and the wife and do it right.
You sound like you're just gonna throw the wife in the back of the truck, man.
I let her sit up front.
Good stuff right there, bud.
That's awesome. You know what? If I ever get a chance to come out to Hawaii, I wouldn't mind trying paddle. I see the guys standing on the surfboards and then they just paddle with the
SUP.
with the big. What do they call that?
SUP, stand-up paddleboard.
That's got to be a killer upper body workout, huh? And probably really good for your core because you got to really balance, and it's got to be good for your abs.
It's easy compared to regular surfing.
Really?
Yeah, I can do that all day, not even get tired once. You surf for an hour, you're beat. Big difference.
The one time I tried surfing...
Hey, Sumo.
Yeah.
Put it this way, who do you see doing the stand-up paddling? Old men and old women? Is that who told you it was tough and good for the core?
It's like those old ladies you see at the pool, man.
Yep, they're telling you that their water aerobics is really working.
Meanwhile, their arm between their elbow is hanging down to their waist.
Oh, man. Come on, Sumo. Let's be nice this morning. I love old people.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, hey, you have
let's pick on somebody else. Let's pick on, I don't know, anybody but old people.
Well, at least I don't have to worry about the grass getting cut. They do that in the middle of the week, so I don't have to rip on the Mexicans with the weed whackers and the blowers and stuff blowing the grass around outside. Because, man, sometimes when I'm doing radio, that really just drives me nuts. All right. Well, why don't we get into some stock action for the day? What do we got for some hotties, Hoss? What's buzzing out there?
I definitely got a few I got my eyes on. What is that in the background? Is that
dogs squirreling around.
They're up. The ladies are up. The hounds have been released.
Nice. Love it. Love it. Avid dog lover here. All right. Hot stocks. We've talked about Arna. Yep. We're done with Arna. One that's kind of been going nuts on our radar. Sumo brought it to our attention here on STT Radio first with the Sumo Super Slammer RENU. Dude, that one has been nuts. Sumo, what do you think of it, man? I don't even know what's going on. This one's caveat emptor on pink sheets.
I put a post on the board pointing out the next key resistance points. This week was big because we broke above the 200-day moving average. And once she popped above that 200-day, boom, no looking back. Next key resistance points is this 1 cent mark where the stock run earlier this year, I think back in February, hit a high of 1 cent. And then after that, it's going to be 0.225 and then 0.395. I'm just going off the top of my head here. I remember putting the chart out on the board this morning. I'll post it again a little bit later. But if you, Haas, I did posted in response to one of your posts. So should be easy for people to track on our board on Investors Hub. And after that 0395, the next resistance is going to be 7 and then 16 cents. I just went back on the 3-year chart and looked at where the stock ran in the past. Last year it had the run from like 2 cents to 0395. After it ran to 0395, it dipped to about a penny and ran back to like 0225. So that's how I got to those resistance points. After this penny break, those are going to be the next key resistance points. And as any resistance, I'd like to see it hold as a support level if we can break through it. So if we can get past this 1 cent mark, I'd like to see that hold as support, and that will be a positive sign. And you know, that's it from a charting standpoint.
Wow, that's awesome, man. I'm just looking at DD Amanda here. Definitely know something's going on when you're looking at what I'm looking at. Basically, you know, $5,000 to $10,000 in dollar volume on most days, if that. For several months before this, you know, they were going through the whole process of the name change. This used to be Shaka Shoes Incorporated, which was SHKZ, I believe. Changed their name, changed their business model. Now they're RENU, Renewin Corp. We've had a CEO interview, so I encourage you to go check that out. I believe that was several months back that we had that in late 2011. But all of a sudden this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Tuesday, $50,000 in volume out of the blue. That seller got off the ask through VNDM at 002, which is when we first, when you first brought it to our attention. And you know, it hopped to close at 0025 on 50,000 in volume on Tuesday. Next day, we just had $16,000 in volume, but hops up big at 004, so we know it's trading thin at that point. No shares down here. Then yesterday, $100,000 day to close at 007. And if you were watching level 2 like I was yesterday, I was glued to it because it was nuts. You could definitely tell there was a big holder through auto controlling the ask and the bid side of things. You know, you got 2 million share bids, 2 million share asks, trying to scare some sellers out.
It was wild. The past 2 days, this stock has gapped up, and it just seems to open right up. And why don't you tell them about the action that you saw after it started to perk up and try to hit new high a day?
Yeah, I don't know if you were watching that, but I was, because we've been interested in this stock for a long time, and I just love watching level 2 screens. I know you do too, and you read them like a champ. But I saw a big 2.7 million share bid sitting at, I think it was 0045. This thing it had a couple of smaller bids at 0055 and a big ask at 0065 area all day through that auto, which I firmly believe is just trying to scare some people into selling for some cheaps, because those big bids were also through auto. And then we saw a huge, late in the day, this was during power hour, a big 2.7 million share whack, all in one chunk at 0045 after a couple of smaller sells. So there might be some, smaller sellers. I don't know if it was a share exchange. I really do not know. I saw that, and I threw a bid in at 0041 because, believe it or not, I consider that big sell a very, very bullish move, considering the offer went back to, 006s right after that. We had a huge spread. It's like 004 by 0059 spread or something. So it was just nuts. But good stuff. Awesome action yesterday. And the thing, just after that 2.7 million sell came through, this thing just popped up like nothing to close at 007, which is the high of day. Very interested to see how this one comes out of the gates.
Yeah, absolutely. And for disclosure purposes, Haas and I do own stock that we bought out of the market.
Absolutely.
This thing, it was really weird to see that end of day, the heavy buying came in and took out those offers. So it'll be interesting to see. They gapped it up yesterday, dipped it to fill the gap. Same thing the day before. Where it's going to open today, Not quite sure yet. It's 9:21. Currently, the level 2 is showing 0055 by '01. So none of the market makers have really clocked in. It's tough to gauge any true level 2 pre-market. Not until the market opens up, then a lot of the market makers join the box, and we'll see what side looks weak. So far, the offer side has been looking really weak. Ever since we seen Van Dam move back to a penny, the offers have really thinned out. They haven't been showing too much size, and there's been some larger bids popping up. Like Haas said, he saw that 2.5 million get whacked out at 4.5. So we'll see what happens with it today on a Friday, going into a nice weekend.
Oh, for sure, man. Absolutely.
Why don't we take a quick peek at the most actives?
Roll with it.
ARNA, number 1 on NASDAQ. ARNA, 6.6 million in volume, last trade 703. Nevada, NVDA, 2.6 million, traded at $13. Let's go over to the bulletin board. ADNY, Alpha, David, Nancy, Yankee, 50,000 shares traded pre-market at 0058. CMXI, Charlie, Michael, X-Ray, India, 43,500 shares traded pre-market at $1.90. GWBU, it's up to 79 cents. That's girl, Walter, boy, under. 12,000 shares traded pre-market at that 79 cents. UAPC, that's under Apple, Peter, Charlie, 11,000 shares traded pre-market at $1.27. DOMK stays trading pre-market volume. This morning it's done 10,900 shares at $2.93. So DOMK has been beast lately. Saw it consolidate the day before yesterday. We saw an up day yesterday. Where will that one end the week out? Let's check out the pink sheets real fast, see if we got any pre-market gainers or pre-market actives there. You got RARS trading pre-market volume. RARS had a big tank yesterday after the run the day before. We'll see what it happens today. It's traded 135,000 shares pre-market at 35 cents. GRBG, one of the penny machine's favorites. GRBG getting a lot of buzz, seen in a lot of chat rooms, a lot of people talking about it on the message boards. That's girl, Robert, boy, girl. Traded at 001, 100,000 shares pre-market. ITNS, Indigo, Tango, Nancy, Sally, 50,000 shares traded pre-market at 037. And that concludes, nope, one more, Luxar, LUXR, 32,950 shares traded pre-market at $2.10. Okay, that concludes the pre-market volume actives for the pink sheets. Haas, you got anything else that looks good that you want to talk about?
I sure do. I've posted on the board a couple of times that this one was bottoming out. SGLN Surge Line, it used to be CNUV, which was China Nuba Solar, so they switched their business focus, did the whole name change thing. We actually spotlighted this stock a while ago. We had some great guest speakers from the iHub board come on and help us with that. And I knew this one was going to bottom out. You know, there was some toxic financing that they did a little while back. And last week there was one huge, I think it was almost a 50 million share whack all in one shot, which I firmly believe was most of the last of that toxic financing. I believe it was an organized share exchange. Just get them the hell out. And right after that, this thing started to creep up. That was in the 003 or 0003, 0004 area. And this one's been slowly creeping up. Yesterday, it touched 0009. And there's some nice rumors floating around that some pretty significant press is going to start flowing next week. Just a rumor. Don't hold me to it. But the chatter's picking up as the stock's been creeping up. There's been some nice accumulation. I've been watching the level 2 screen. Hasn't been any selling. Basically no selling. So it's just people accumulating this 000 area. The share structure is quite high, which is the only thing that I don't like. I believe the share structure is somewhere in the realm of 5 to 6 billion shares, but 80% of that is owned by insiders. Doesn't mean they're not selling, but it does mean that most of that's probably in tight hands, and there's a pretty good reason why the insiders would want the share price pretty high. So, you got a 1.5 to 2 billion free trading float in this 000 stock, and they got some pretty cool stuff going on with the cheap medical technology products and some of the licensing and distribution deals that they're making. And some pretty decent revenue projections, to be honest with you, if you go check out and do some due diligence, read the recent press. But if they start talking, if they bring in a couple of big medical equipment sales deals into the company, obviously the medical market is astronomical, so a couple of big deals could really put this stock over the top. But I just like the accumulation, the way it's been trading. And with the rumors, definitely want to put on your list today. We all know that we've seen these stocks in 000s break that 001 mark. Sometimes they run a little bit, so could be a good trading opportunity. How about you? You got anything you're watching close today, bud?
I've been watching this IDOI, and I saw some big block trades going off yesterday. Big volume came in. I'm hearing some rumors of possible push promo coming next week. I've had this one on my radar for a long time. When I first started watching it, I saw it go from high 30s, low 40s to 56 cents. It came down, found support off of 36 cents, and has been inching up, making higher highs and higher lows. And, I was told the same groups that did MSTG were supposed to come into this one. Now, the only downside to it is it's got a DTC chill, so maybe some of the online brokers may not pick this one up. I was able to buy shares out of my E-Trade account, but that may hinder its performance. So I'm just going to keep an eye on it. And like I said, I saw those big block trades going off yesterday. Saw the volume start to pick up, which is usually an indicator that PPS is getting ready to move. So we'll see if anything comes to fruition on it.
Hey, have you been watching AGCZ? That one kind of dipped down a little bit, but the charts.
Oh yeah. Yesterday, that one also impressed me. Saw the big volume come in. I saw the big bid support. I was watching it early in the day, and I saw some really large bids, like 400,000 shares came in at like 4-cent range. It was the big bids were coming in, and it had a nice move, and saw some heavy volume start to pick up in it. So I'm also hearing some rumors on that one as far as getting going next week. So we'll definitely keep those two on our watch list. EMWW, also hearing some rumors on that one for next week. They just finally got updated with a bunch of filings this week, and the market's open. Okay, here we go. Renew, gapping up 0085 on the offer. And I just entered Zynga calls. I put the order in SIFI, and I'm filled at 25. Is that a good or a bad move?
Hard to say right now.
Uh-oh. It looks like it gapped down. They executed me way above the market. Those bastards.
Yeah,
I shouldn't have put...
It's not always good to slap it right out of the gate.
Why don't we take a look at the ARNA action? This one's selling off a little bit out of the gates. It looks like opened up at $7.01. It's trading down to 658 area right now. So as I figured, it might take a little dip out of the gates here. No predicting where this one's going to go over the course of the next week here. Nuts. 10 million in volume so far. Crazy, crazy. The one I'm keeping my eye on, Surge Line, SGLN, few hits on the 0009 so far today. It looks like there's about 4 or 5 million left on the ass there. 0008 was the main mark. There was quite a bit of ass stacking there the last couple of days, but it got trumped. So that 0008 was a big break in my mind. Once it gets to this 0009, 001 area, usually it moves a little bit easier, but still pretty quiet. But with the rumors pending, who knows?
All right, I might, I think these Zanga calls are going to be good. You know, they're through to June, so we got plenty of time for them to mature, right?
Yep.
Wow, whoops.
The thing about some of these stocks is it's just they've been beaten down after this sell-off that we saw after these bad announcements from, overseas. I mean, how long could they stay down here stuck in the mud?
We got UNQT coming pretty hot out of the gates. Last traded at 0006, up 20%, 13.5 million in volume. This one put out some nice quarterly financial press just recently. It heated up from, I believe it was 0003 area, busted up to 0008, 0009, pulled back. It's kind of been consolidating. Then they put out some press yesterday at 3:29 p.m. Eastern Time. Union Equities Incorporated is pleased to announce that its wholly owned subsidiary, Union Equity Investments Incorporated, has acquired 100% ownership of Natural Product Laboratories, LLC, a privately held company based in Melbourne, Florida, in exchange for an undisclosed amount of Union Equity Inc.'s restricted stock and cash. Looks like Natural Product Laboratories is a contract filler and blender of FDA-regulated custom personal care products for the hotel, resort, and destination spa industry. So let's see here. So yeah, 100% acquisition of Natural Product Laboratories for Union Equity. Again, that ticker is UNQT. Closed yesterday at 0005. We got 20 million in volume now. 0005 by 0006 spread. Got about 13 million on the ask there at 0006, and about 13 million on the bid at 0005. Sixes are getting hit a little bit here, but this one is a profitable 00 company. Nice acquisition news there for him.
I got a couple of gainers here on the percentage gainers list. RHXI is taking off right now and increasing volume. 10-day average is only 75,000 shares. Already traded 1.15 million shares. We're up to 007, and that's a gain of, let's see, 62.79% on RHXI. RFMK, Rapid Fire Marketing Inc., 0032 by 0033, making a little bit of a gain here out of the gate. It's up 26.92%. IZEA, IZEA. Saw this one on a heavy promo push yesterday. Traded 4 million shares plus yesterday. And currently IZEA is up 28.71% at 65 cents. TTDZ. This is one that we wanted to talk about last night on the radio show, but we didn't get to it. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough time. TTDZ up 4.3 million shares. Traded 4.6 million shares, traded up to 0025, a gain of 25% on the day. DRGZ starting to make a little bit of move. That's another sub penny. 0029 last traded, up 45% on only 141,000 shares. DRGZ. UNQT, you mentioned that one quick, Haas. That one's trading some decent volume, 32.9 million in volume thus far, and the day's range is 0005 to 0006.
That TTDZ is definitely an interesting one. They released a pretty sick financial statement, almost an unbelievable financial statement last week with some of their assets, and their asset to liability ratio and the revenues they're bringing in. So people aren't quite sure what to think of that one yet. I've had my eye on it since they released that, but I think it was up multiple bags after that financial news.
Did RHXI have any news out this morning? Why is this thing moving?
I think they did. I'm going to check.
RFMK just got another uptick. 0033 by 0034. 3.1 million in volume. And RHXI is up to 0085 on the offer.
Yeah, RHXI, they released a 1512G filing. So termination of registration of a class of securities. Let's see, they must be doing, I don't know, are they doing a name change or something?
I don't know, but I'm ready to buy this break, I'll tell you that.
Wow, this one is pretty quiet on the IHA boards. No posts since June 25th, 2011. But this sucker, 1.3 million in volume, up almost 100% now today. Wow. I'm going to see if I can figure something out here. The last news they released before this was on November 3rd, 2011. It looks like during the course of 2010 and 11, continued to focus on its efforts on growing its business, building a company, enhance value to our shareholders, yada yada.
What's the share structure on it?
Hold on, I'll check that in a sec. Looks like they're out of Helsinki, Finland. Let's see here. Rahaksi Oy is significantly closer to achieving its goal of becoming a self-generating business entity in the not-too-distant future. Rahaksi Oy's unaudited revenue for fiscal 2010 and 11 was pretty much in line with the $3 million reported audited for 2009. So it looks like they're bringing in about $3 million in revenues per year. Unaudited losses of approximately $190,000 for 2011 shows a significant improvement of reported losses of $1.6 million in 2009. All right, so I guess they're pretty close to being a profitable company by the looks of it. Looks like they're in the prepaid mobile market in Latin America especially. Huh. I'm very confused.
Man, they are hammering RARS. See if she can find the bottom here at 24 cents.
Yeah, that one, everyone was speculating to be a big promotional campaign. And the emailers didn't quite come out yet. So that one's been super volatile. Crazy. Looks like the reported share structure on RHXI was 557 million outstanding as of May 19th, 2010. So that's definitely not current. See if they got anything else I can find. Nope, that's the best we're gonna get, man. That is the best we're gonna get.
So I didn't get my $5 for my call. I got $4.20, Haas.
$4.20.
Boom.
That's your style, anyways, man. That's not too shabby.
Hey, from we had our cost average under $1, so we'll take a 3-bagger. But I'm still looking right now. It's trading at 385 by 405. I'm going to go ahead and probably roll on up to a higher call, looking for more on the actual approval. So
yeah, I would. I don't know. I haven't looked at options during any of these FDA plays, but I would expect that to settle down over the course of the next week or two here throughout the rest of May.
Yep.
I'm not sure. But you'll definitely be able to do a run up into the FDA decision again.
Yep. Got her front and center. was fun.
How did Tesla treat you, man?
Oh, Tesla was awesome, man. I mean, I don't remember the exact numbers what we got into on that, but basically we got in for $1.20. I sold it for $3. It had a day high of 370, so that was a good call. Can't beat it.
Boy.
I don't know what she's doing now. You know how I am with the options. I move on to the next. Especially those lottery tickets like that. It's not like I played Tesla. You know, I don't watch that thing. I only played it because of the earnings and the volatility was high, and I was looking for a move.
Lock them in.
Yep.
Lock them in and go surfing.
That sounds about right. Man, look what they're doing to J.P. Morgan off that news yesterday. Just hammering her, almost down 10%, 9.5% down.
What was the news exactly? Wasn't it some trader in there lost a big chunk of money?
Yeah, they lost a lot of money, and a lot of it has to do with the Basel III. I didn't read the whole news. I just know that they're getting their asses handed to them.
Gotcha.
Buying opportunity in my book.
Oh, for sure, man. Buy when everyone else is fearful. That's the way to do it. People always say it, but they never do it. But it actually does work in the right situations.
Yeah, look at Verizon, Haas. It's at 41 now. They raised the price target to 45. Hey, I had that price target first. Come on.
Attaboy. Hey, you know what other stock is going crazy? Well, actually, both stocks are going crazy today. You know, when you get these drugs approved, you look for other bio companies that are kind of in the same market. You have Arna's two biggest competitors, BooooooooM Incorporated, ticker VVUS, and Orexogen Therapeutics, ticker OREX. BooooooooM has a drug decision later in the year on their obesity drug. And then Orexogen is still in some earlier trials, so their drug approval isn't going to come up for a while. But Orexogen up about 10%. 500,000 shares traded, last traded $3.70. BooooooooM last traded $23.89, almost a million shares in volume, but so up 5% so far today. BooooooooM also has a male enhancement drug approved and some other drugs in the pipeline and stuff too. So BooooooooM already has a couple of drugs on the market. Orexogen, not sure, I'd have to go check, but both of those are getting some good action today too. You know, FDA approves one obesity drug, what's stopping them from approving a couple more to give everyone options, you know? So people are speculating on that. Good stuff. Sumo, you here?
Yeah, I'm out here in the background trying to punch my keyboard, trying to make a few trays here.
Make a dollar. Make a dollar.
Alright, looks like...
Don't mind me, I'm just a fly on the wall. TTDZ hit a high a day of 0025. It's pulling back. 0022 by 0023. RARS pulling back to the low of day here. 21.2 going off. Little pullback. Going to be watching for the bounce.
Debounce. Debounce.
Yeah, it's a Friday, boys. It's going to be slow. What do you say we wrap it up early?
Let's wrap it up early.
Wow, we're wrapping up really early, but that actually sounds good to me. It's pretty quiet. No out-of-this-world news today or anything like that, so...
Alrighty, then.
Rocket, bro.
It's been a great week here at Stock Traders Talk Radio. Really looking forward to another exciting week next week. Be sure to tune in to Sunday night show at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Siffy, you got the disclaimer ready?
We are
It's
not
running.
professional financial advisors and always recommend you seek
Have a
the
great
advice of
weekend.
a professional financial
Cheers.
advisor. Never invest in any stock featured on our show unless you can afford to lose your entire investment. The information contained on our show is based on sources which we believe to be reliable, but is not guaranteed by us as being accurate, and might not be a complete statement or summary of the available data. Stock Traders Talk Radio advises that the investments in companies profiled are commonly considered to be high risk, and use of the information provided is at the investor's sole risk. Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio.